These are 10 moments when Meghan Markle's behavior crossed a line so publicly that even Prince Harry couldn't hide his discomfort. From interrupting dignitaries to breaking royal protocol in front of the Queen herself, these incidents reveal a pattern that palace insiders have been whispering about for years. What makes someone repeatedly ignore centuries of tradition? And why did the royal family stay quiet for so long? Keep watching, because the final moment on this list led to a behind-closed-doors conversation that changed everything. October 2018 in Fiji should have been just another royal walkabout. Instead, it turned into one of the first major PR disasters of Meghan's royal career. During a visit to a local market, Meghan was greeting fans when an aide suggested they move along because of security concerns about the growing crowd. What happened next was caught on camera and picked apart frame by frame around the world. Meghan apparently dismissed the aide's concerns with a visible wave of her hand, insisting on staying put despite her security team's obvious worry. Harry's face during this whole thing said it all. His jaw got tight, his smile completely disappeared, and he quickly stepped in to guide Meghan away. Body language experts later pointed out that Harry's hand on her back wasn't sweet or romantic. It was him trying to take control of the situation. The moment wouldn't be such a big deal if it ended there. But reports from the royal protection officers who were there that day painted a picture of someone who kept ignoring security rules that existed for her own safety. One protection officer reportedly told coworkers that Meghan treated security advice like personal insults instead of professional guidance. The Fiji incident was just the most public example of an ongoing problem that palace staff were dealing with behind the scenes. Wimbledon 2019 showed off Meghan's approach to privacy in a way that left everyone confused. Meghan went to the tennis tournament to watch her friend Serena Williams play. Nothing weird about that. Royal family members go to Wimbledon all the time. But Meghan's security team reportedly told people sitting nearby that they couldn't take photos of her, even though she was in a public area where everyone takes pictures. One woman who was simply taking a selfie with the court in the background got approached by security and told to stop because Meghan was there in her private capacity. The woman's confusion made total sense. Meghan was sitting in a super visible public seat at one of the world's most photographed sporting events. The whole thing made headlines when Sally Jones, a well-known tennis journalist, spoke publicly about being told she couldn't photograph Meghan despite having proper media credentials to cover the tournament. Harry wasn't at this event, but sources close to the couple said he was annoyed when the story blew up. The contradiction was obvious. Meghan wanted privacy at a public event while also making sure everyone knew she was there through official announcements. Royal watchers pointed out this as a pattern. Meghan seemed to want total control over her public image in ways that clashed with how royal coverage normally works. During a joint interview in 2019, Meghan cut Harry off mid-sentence in a way that made viewers and the interviewer visibly cringe. Harry was answering a question about their future plans when Meghan interrupted him to correct what he was saying. The moment only lasted a few seconds, but Harry's reaction said everything. He stopped talking right away, his face went from open to closed off, and he let Meghan finish the thought. Royal experts noticed this wasn't how royal couples usually acted in public. The unwritten rule had always been that each person finishes what they're saying without getting cut off, showing they're on the same page. Meghan's interruption suggested she either didn't know this rule or chose to ignore it. What made it extra awkward was how uncomfortable Harry looked. He glanced down, his shoulders kind of slumped, and when he looked back up, the warmth that had been there seconds before was gone. Former royal staff members who saw the footage said Harry's reaction looked like someone who'd been corrected like this before and knew that arguing would just make things worse. The February 2019 New York baby shower became a total PR nightmare that even media outlets who usually supported Meghan struggled to defend. Meghan flew to New York on a private jet for a shower that reportedly cost over $300,000. The event at the Mark Hotel's fancy penthouse suite had celebrity guests, designer everything, and a level of excess that completely clashed with the royal family's recent messaging about the environment and being responsible with money. Harry was back in the UK during all this, and sources said he was told about the plans rather than asked his opinion. When photographers captured Meghan arriving and leaving, along with her celebrity friends going into the venue, it looked terrible. This was happening while Harry was publicly talking about climate change, and the couple was using taxpayer money to renovate Frogmore Cottage. Palace insiders reported that Harry was really uncomfortable with the whole thing, but felt like he couldn't say no. The baby shower gave ammunition to critics who said Meghan wanted all the perks of being royal, without accepting the responsibilities and limits that come with it. The incident marked a turning point in how the public saw her, with polls showing a big drop in Meghan's popularity in the UK. Christmas 2018 at Sandringham should have been a happy family occasion. Instead, it gave us one of the most analyzed clips from Meghan's time as a working royal. During the traditional Christmas Day church walk, cameras caught an exchange between Harry and Meghan that body language experts called tense. As the family walked toward the church, Meghan seemed to be talking to Harry in an animated way. Harry's response was to look straight ahead, not engage, and keep walking. When Meghan kept going, Harry made a small hand gesture that experts said was basically him asking her to drop it. The whole thing happened in seconds, but it got replayed and picked apart endlessly. What made the moment stand out was where it happened. The Christmas walk is one of the most photographed royal events all year. Every family member knows cameras are catching their every move. The fact that this disagreement played out publicly suggested either a serious lack of awareness or a level of frustration that made them forget to be careful. Royal commentators pointed out that other family members, including Prince William and Kate Middleton, never had similar public moments despite surely having private arguments. Being able to keep your cool during public appearances is considered a basic part of royal life. This moment suggested that wasn't happening. By late 2018, stories about how Meghan treated staff had gone from palace rumors to mainstream news. Multiple staff members quit in quick succession, including personal assistants, communications directors, and household staff. The departure of Melissa Tubati, Meghan's personal assistant, was especially notable because she left after only 6 months despite having a great reputation. Reports came out describing Meghan's behavior toward staff as demanding to the point of being unreasonable. Emails sent at 5 in the morning, expectations that staff would be available 24/7, a management style that some called bullying. The palace eventually launched an investigation into these claims, though they never released the results publicly. Harry's response to these reports was to publicly defend Meghan, calling the stories a smear campaign. But people close to the couple said privately that Harry knew about the staff problems and had tried to fix them internally. His public defense didn't match up with his private admission that there were real issues with how Meghan treated employees. The staff turnover became impossible to ignore when even media outlets that usually supported them started reporting on it. The difference compared to other royal households was stark. While all royals have staff changes, the speed and type of departures from Meghan's team were unlike anything seen in modern royal history. The 2019 Royal Albert Hall event for the Mountbatten Music Festival produced a photo that got everyone talking. As Harry and Meghan took their seats in the royal box, photographers captured a moment where Harry seemed to lean toward Meghan and say something that made her smile disappear instantly. Body language experts studied the footage frame by frame. What made viewers uncomfortable wasn't just Meghan's reaction, but how Harry looked afterward. He seemed resigned, almost defeated, in a way that people who'd followed his public appearances for years had never seen before. The moment suggested an ongoing dynamic where Harry felt responsible for managing Meghan's reactions when they were out in public. The image became symbolic of bigger worries about their relationship. Royal watchers noticed that in earlier public appearances, Harry always seemed protective of Meghan in a sweet way. By 2019, that protectiveness had shifted to something that looked more like damage control. The change was subtle but clear to people who'd been watching royal body language for decades. In 2019, Meghan gave an interview where she talked about her relationship with the media and the challenges of royal life. During the conversation, she made comments that many people saw as criticizing Prince Charles's approach to handling press attention. The remarks were indirect but obvious enough that palace staff immediately knew she'd broken protocol. Harry was there during the interview and visibly tensed up when Meghan made these comments. He didn't disagree with her, but his discomfort was clear. Royal protocol has always been straightforward. Family members don't publicly criticize each other, even in a roundabout way. Disagreements happen behind closed doors, and they show a united front to the world. The comments put Harry in an impossible spot. Defending his wife meant seeming to side against his father. Staying quiet meant letting public criticism of Prince Charles go unanswered. He chose silence during the interview, but sources said the conversation it started within the family was intense. Prince Charles reportedly felt blindsided by the public nature of the criticism. The incident damaged the relationship between Meghan and her father-in-law in ways that later events would prove hard to fix. Before Meghan and Harry's wedding, reports came out about a disagreement over a tiara. The initial story was that Meghan wanted to wear a specific tiara and was told it wasn't available. Later reports suggested the real problem was Meghan's reaction when she couldn't have her first choice. The phrase, "what Meghan wants, Meghan gets," allegedly came from Harry during the disagreement. The Queen's response was reportedly firm. She made it clear that Meghan would choose from what was offered, and that was that. But palace staff who saw the exchanges said Harry's embarrassment was obvious. He found himself stuck between his grandmother, whom he deeply respects, and his fiancée, whom he was trying to support. What made the incident a big deal wasn't the disagreement itself. Royal brides have preferences, and sometimes those preferences can't happen. The problem was how the disagreement was handled. The expectation is that royal family members, especially those marrying in, will gracefully accept decisions made by the Queen. The reported pushback suggested an unwillingness to accept the hierarchy that defines royal life. The March 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey was the peak of years of tension. During the broadcast, Meghan made claims about her treatment by the royal family that shocked viewers worldwide. She talked about concerns over her son's skin color, alleged lack of support for her mental health, and described feeling trapped and isolated. Harry sat next to Meghan during most of the interview, and his face showed internal conflict. When Meghan made her most explosive claims, Harry looked down, nodded slowly, but rarely added extra details. Body language experts said he seemed to be supporting Meghan while also trying to minimize damage to his family. The interview broke every rule of royal protocol about keeping family matters private. It aired dirty laundry on a global stage that tradition said should have been handled internally. Harry's visible discomfort throughout the broadcast suggested he understood how big this was and the permanent damage it would cause to his family relationships. Palace insiders later reported that Harry really struggled with the decision to do the interview. He ultimately chose to support his wife's desire to share her story, but the cost to his relationships with his father and brother became clear right away. The interview marked the point of no return in Harry and Meghan's relationship with the working royal family. Looking at these 10 moments together shows more than just isolated incidents. They reveal a consistent pattern of broken rules, public disagreements, and situations where Harry found himself cleaning up after Meghan's choices. Whether these moments represent an outsider struggling to adapt to an outdated system or something more calculated depends on your perspective. What's clear is that Harry's visible discomfort in these situations told its own story. The man who once seemed so confident and relaxed in his royal role looked increasingly stressed and conflicted. These moments, captured on camera and analyzed endlessly, showed a transformation that ultimately led to one of the most dramatic decisions in modern royal history. The question that remains is whether these incidents were symptoms of an impossible situation or choices that made that situation unavoidable. Either way, they changed the path of Harry's life and reshaped the modern royal family in ways that will be felt for generations.